You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Domashevitz.
Good evening, and welcome to this Saturday special edition of The Scrimmage.
Good evening.
As the intro music was playing there, nobody heard our producer Andrew very gracefully running over to get his headphones that he left on the other side of the room. Gracefully and quietly, Andrew, you did a great job there.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
Yes, I was being sarcastic. What was the show where? Oh, it's Big Bang Theory. Where they always have Leonard always has to announce whether or not he's being sarcastic because Sheldon doesn't get it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think
I'm that smart.
You are Sheldon Cooper. In
no one has ever accused me of that before.
Every possible way. No, you're very opposite. You're very different from Sheldon Cooper.
Thank you.
Why did we start talking about Sheldon?
It's sarcasm?
Okay, sarcasm. Yeah, that's right. Well, this is The Scrimmage. It's a Saturday special edition because we had some scheduling conflicts tomorrow. I'm Justin Domashevitz, producer Andrew Gross here with me. Daniel Hargrove, unfortunately, is no longer with us today. He is out on maternity leave. Congratulations, Daniel, on your beautiful baby boy. But we'll get Daniel back in a couple weeks, and for the time being, it'll just be the Andrew and Justin show, which I kind of feel like means we can do whatever we want.
Don't we always do whatever we want?
No, because Daniel's here.
Oh,
and
okay.
He is bossy. And he's like, no, you will do the show my way.
Right.
And I always listen.
Yeah.
To everything that he wants me to do.
Yep. That's one of the things that we really appreciate about you.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so Chase wants to know if Daniel's in prison, and I will say, as far as we know, he's not, but also he didn't respond to our last text exchange. It's been a while since we've heard from him, so I wouldn't rule it out completely that that's a possibility, but for now, we're going to say that he's just on... How many times can I say maternity leave before it would offend him? We call it baby leave. Yeah. Oh, hashtag free Daniel. Yeah, thanks, Chase. If Daniel happens to be in prison, I agree with you.
We can neither confirm nor deny that Daniel is in prison. We haven't heard from him.
Yeah.
Since the question came up.
Here's a question. If Daniel was in prison, would we lie for him? Like, would we tell the public a different story? Or would we go straight to Daniel got arrested for robbing a convenience store?
I was really curious where you were going to have him be robbed for. I think it really depends on why he's in jail.
Okay. But I feel like I'd want to talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
Have like some public therapy time. Like, oh man, our buddy got arrested. We need to talk about it with
Daniel got arrested for vandalizing the Ducks 50-yard line logo.
Is that the thing actually that he's most likely to be arrested? If Daniel is not a very arrestable guy.
I don't know if he's most likely to be arrested for that, but that's got to be high up on the list of illegal things that he would do if he had the opportunity.
If Daniel, you know what? I'm so with you. Actually, if Daniel, who, by the way, law-abiding citizen, as far as we know, he's not the kind of guy that's like living on the edge of here's some things I could be arrested for, but like he did tell a story about how he almost stole the Johnny Hoquiam thing when the high school kids were hiding it around Aberdeen last year. Like that, if you steal that, I wonder if you could be arrested for theft. I don't know. But if Daniel were to be arrested for something, it would be rivalry. It would be sports rivalry related. Title of this week's show, what would Daniel get arrested for? What's Daniel's most likely
Chase
tribe?
has a good point. It sounds like Daniel's spending too much time in Aberdeen. Yeah, he
Oh,
probably
yeah.
is. Yeah.
Way too much time. Also, way too much time in Lewis County. Like, just gross. Just gross. Anyway, I would love to just spend the entire hour plus of today's show sitting here just speculating wildly about what is the thing Daniel would be most likely to get arrested for. But instead, I think we should move on to our first segment, which is the local sports roundup. Montesano's softball team beat Black Hills in Lacey on Monday 14-3. Bulldog catcher Allie Parkin went 3 for 4 with a home run, 2 doubles, and 4 RBI. And Lex Stanfield, excuse me, everyone clear my throat real quick.
You're excused.
That was a shout out, Pastor Doug. He always did that. Lex Stanfield went 3 for 3 with 1 run scored and 1 driven in. Grace Gooding got the win in the circle after pitching 3 innings, allowing 1 unearned run on 4 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Gooding also went 2 for 3 at the dish with 2 RBI. Monty kept the wins rolling with a home doubleheader sweep of Elma on Wednesday, 6-1 and 16-7. Violet Prince pitched in the opener for the Bulldogs, allowing 1 run on 1 hit and striking out 16 batters. That's a lot. Liv Robinson led Monty with 3 hits, 3 runs, and 2 stolen bases, and Parkin hit a 2-run home run. Lots of dingers for Parkin. In the nightcap, Robinson went 4 for 6 with 2 doubles, 2 runs, and 2 RBI, and Gooding went 4 for 4 with a homer, a double, and 5 RBI. Raylan Weld led Elma with 3 hits, including a double, a run, and an RBI, and Aubrey Simmons hit a 2-run dinger. The Bulldogs picked up another home win on Friday, 4-3 over Battleground. Lex Stanfield led Monty with 3 hits, while Ada Potts and Reagan Wintrip chipped in 2 hits apiece.
Aberdeen picked up a league softball home win on Friday, 7-0 over Black Hills. Bobcat star pitcher Lily Camp tossed her second no-hitter of the season in the win, allowing just 2 walks and striking out 12 batters across 7 innings of work. Camp also hit a double and drove in a run. Scotland Lecomte, Brooklyn Neal, Mason Jones, and Allie Adams each recorded 2 hits for Aberdeen.
Raymond South Bend beat Morton White Pass in a softball game in South Bend on Wednesday, 25-3. Liz Lewis went 4 for 4 for the Ravens with a home run, a triple, 4 runs scored, and 4 driven in. Ava Pine added 3 hits, including a double, and Emma Glazier went 2 for 4 with a double, a home run, 4 runs, and 4 RBI.
PL?
I'd say PL.
PL Willapa Valley's softball team swept a doubleheader against Forks, 8-5 and 18-5 on Wednesday in PL. Sophia Milanowski led the Titans in the opener with 3 hits and an RBI, and Lauren Matlock hit an inside the park home run. Nice. Carly Phelps went 2 for 3 with a run and 3 RBI. In the nightcap, Matlock went 3 for 3 with a triple, 2 runs scored, and 2 driven in. And Phelps and Tyler Keaton each recorded 2 hits.
Careful on Milanowski. We got to get the Polish names right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Montesano's baseball team beat Elma 4-0 on Wednesday in Montesano. Caden Grubb pitched all 7 innings for the Bulldogs, allowing 4 hits and 1 walk while striking out 11 batters. Grubb also went 2 for 3 at the plate with an RBI. The Eagles got 2 hits, including a double from Jack Anderson. Monty swept a doubleheader against Elma on Friday, 5-2 and 6-1. That's 3 wins in a row over your rival. I didn't have stats from the Friday doubleheader, but that's 3 straight wins for Monty over Elma. Good week for the Bulldogs. No, you're
good. PL Willapa Valley picked a pair of baseball wins at Forks on Friday, 5-1 and 10-4. Liam Smachez started the opener for the Titans, allowing 1 unearned run on 2 hits while striking out 8 batters in 6 innings pitched. In the nightcap, Eddie Clements went 2 for 5 with 2 runs and 2 stolen bases. Lucas Lusk went 2 for 5 with 3 runs, 2 RBI, and 3 stolen bases. Baden Ruddle went 2 for 5 with a run and an RBI, and Canyon Clements went 2 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI.
Raymond South Bend remained unbeaten in 1A Evergreen League soccer play with a 2-1 home win over Elma on Tuesday. Jose Ramirez opened scoring for the Ravens off an assist from Evan Cohn. That's former Aberdeen Bobcat Evan Cohn. Elma later tied the game when Manny Venegas scored, assisted by Ivan Torres. Then Adam Mora scored the game winner for RSB in the 70th minute. On Thursday, the Ravens handed Montesano its first league loss, 6-0. Both of those teams were undefeated in league going into that game. Edgar Ramirez scored a hat trick for the win for the Ravens.
Elma beat Forks on Thursday, 3-2. The Eagles got a hat trick from Manny Venegas, including the game winner in OT.
And that we'll talk about that one a little bit more when we get into Athlete of the Week, because it was 3 unanswered goals when they were down 0-2, and Manny led them back pretty much single-handedly. Montesano's soccer team remained unbeaten in league play with a 9-0 home win over Ilwaco on Tuesday. They did. That's a misleading sentence because they did later in the week lose to RSB. But on Tuesday they were still undefeated in league. Felix Romero scored a hat trick in the first 10 minutes of the match, then added an assist and another goal later in the contest. Brady Whipple added 2 goals and an assist. Matt Causey earned the shutout in goal and scored a goal on a penalty kick late in the game. A goalie goal. That was exciting and fun, I'm sure.
Hoquiam's soccer team won on overtime penalty kicks at Tenino on Tuesday.
Two Wednesday.
Dylan Avila Guzman scored twice for the Grizzlies, and Alan Torres scored once in regulation, in which the teams played to a 3-3 tie. Avila Guzman, JB Fabian,
I think it's Fabian.
Christian Sanchez, and Israel Rosales.
Rosales.
Each converted a penalty kick after the 2 overtime periods for the Hoquiam win.
Aberdeen track standouts Isaac Garcia and Henry Nelson competed at the Oregon Relays last weekend at the University of Oregon. Oh, sorry, Andrew. I didn't mean to bring up Oregon. Wait, you don't hate Oregon that much, do you? How bad do you hate Oregon? Scale of 1 to 10.
I dislike Oregon more than any other Pacific Northwest team.
Okay, good to know. Nelson placed 7th in... Oh, that's right. We had this conversation a couple weeks ago. I'm really stepping all over this thing. I'm going to start over because these guys deserve that respect. Aberdeen track standouts Isaac Garcia and Henry Nelson competed at the Oregon Relays last weekend at the University of Oregon. Nelson placed 7th in a field of 68 runners in the 800 with a time of 1 minute 55.37 seconds. Garcia finished 20th out of 57 runners in the 400 with a time of 50.59 seconds, and 10th of 35 long jumpers with a leap of 6.48 meters. This is the, you may remember last year, Jane Roloff ran at the Oregon Relays, so pretty cool to see more local kids going to compete there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Elma swept the team titles at the Henry Weisel Invitational Track Meet on Friday in Raymond. On the boys' side, Montesano placed 2nd, Acosta 4th, and Raymond South Bend 5th. On the girls' side, RSB placed 3rd and Montesano 4th. Eagles sophomore Richie
I think it's Guadarrama.
Guadarrama continued his dominant season with wins in the 100 and 200 meters, as well as the 4x100 and 4x400 relays. For the Lady Eagles, Georgia Burkhart won the 300 hurdles and triple jump and took 3rd in the 100 hurdles.
It's a really good season so far for Elma Track and Field. Richie is absolutely unstoppable as a sprinter, and apparently really good at the 400 as well, if he's running the 4x4 relay, and I think he's the anchor. On the boys' side, Elma's Ryder Nelson, who won the 300 hurdles, placed 2nd in the 200 and ran with the Eagles' winning 4x1 team. Montesano's Colton Sweet won the 3200, while his Bulldog teammate Sean Straka won the shot put and placed 2nd in discus behind Raymond South Bend's Ray Robinette Scaubo. I apologize if I got that wrong. Willapa Valley's Hank Swartz won the javelin with his teammate Cody Strozik in 2nd. Swartz also took 1st in the triple jump. Chris Banker won the high jump and took second in the 100 for RSB. Ocosta's Elijah Perry won the pole vault.
On the girls' side, Montesano's Haley McElroy won the 100 and 200 and teamed up with Sam Roundtree, Kiara Weisenhunt, and Kylie Geelan to win the 4x100 relay. Fellow Bulldog Samantha Schweppe won the 800 and 1600, and her sister Haley Schweppe won the 3200. That's a lot of meters.
So far.
Elma's 4x200 relay team of Emily Escoffin, Zipporah Valentine, Adriana Canios, and Beta Valentine took first place, and Willapa Valley's Sam Sheary won the shot put and the discus.
And that will conclude the local sports roundup, at least the formal portion of it. There were a couple of track teams competing at a really big meet today, and I don't have full results from it. I'm not even sure when it ended, but I did notice that Hoquiam track coach Chad Allen posted some results from that, and we actually had one sent to us. This was a meet that had something like 30 plus teams at this meet, and they're across all classifications. And Renasia Burtonshaw won the 100 meters with a time of, I want to say 12:78, which is,
that's not a lot of seconds.
It's 0.2 off of her school record, which she opened the season with at the Icebreaker. So it's not quite up to the standard that she has set for herself, but it's really fast. I mean, it's a awesome time. She finished first at this massive meet. Renasia is,
by the way, opening a season with a record breaker in any kind of speed sport is wild.
And she did not win Athlete of the Week.
The beginning of the season is not when you're putting in your best times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. I mean, that's so true. Unless you're Renasia and then you're just fast.
Well,
you're just fast all the time.
Yeah,
every time.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, Sydney Gordon took first in the shot put. Riker Maxfield second in the 1600. Junior Soto, let's see, what did he do? Sorry, I'm somewhat sorting through this as we go. Okay, so Riker Maxfield in the 3200 took fifth. Junior Soto in the 3200 took fourth. Oh, one of these is varsity and one of them's elite. So there might be two. Okay, so it looks like Riker
is elite above varsity?
Yes. So it looks like Riker ran in the fastest 3200 and took fifth with a time of 10 minutes and 2 seconds. And Junior Soto ran in the varsity 3200 and took fourth with a time of 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
Huh.
Renasia also took fourth in the long jump. And then, as I mentioned, Sydney Gordon won the shot put. And Riker Maxfield finished second in the 1600. So when you have kids, especially this is a meet with schools from multiple classifications, so you got bigger schools there. I know there was at least a couple of 2A, and some of the schools I didn't even recognize, so that probably means some of them are up in the 3A, 4A range. But when you have kids placing and, let alone winning events at a meet like that, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Our Elma correspondent, Chase Ferrier, says that Elma softball beat Lakeside 9 Mile Falls 17-5 at Monty today.
Okay, very good. So. Appreciate that, Chase. Appreciate the info. Grays Harbor softball is always incredibly competitive. I think we've already seen Aberdeen is really good this year. Monty is really good this year. Elma's shown some really good things as well. So I think we will just be kind of trying to figure out as the season goes on which teams are going to set themselves apart. Did something funny happen? Oh, it's Francis. Yeah. Should we ignore the comments?
That's what I was planning on doing.
All right, that's cool. And then I think as we're looking at the track thing, Haley McElroy from Monty won the 100 and the 200. Haley's really fast, but she's been running in the same meets with Renasia Burtonshaw, and so she's had to settle for second place a few times when The two of them are generally faster at the meets than almost everybody else. I think Richie Guadarrama is an interesting case. He is sometimes not just beating people in the races. He's like demolishing people in the races. In the 200, he won by almost a full second again.
Gosh.
Which we saw the video of what that looks like before
Yeah.
we played it on the show. And so, I mean, the kid is just so fast. And I haven't watched him this year, but I watched him last year, and he's not even really that fast of a starter. He doesn't really get off the blocks and just smoke everybody. He kind of starts behind a little bit, and then once he hits his stride, he is so much faster than everyone. It's pretty crazy. And is Chase saying he's gonna be taking Duke questions?
No, he said, I will not be taking Duke questions at this time.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was going to ask him how he's feeling about the fact that they've landed 0 players in the portal so far. But if he's not taking questions, I guess we'll just leave that be.
Actually, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing, or is it embarrassing? Because when a team loses all their players to the portal, that's bad, right?
Yeah. Yes. Kind of. Unless you wanted your players to go into the portal. See, it is really interesting, and this might be a better discussion for towards the end of the show, but we've gotten to the point in college basketball. Actually, this might be a better discussion when Daniel's back, because you don't care about basketball. But
that's true.
It is interesting, like, how things have shifted in college basketball, because it went from, like, your guys are there, and then they're with you basically, unless something weird happens, and then they transfer. And then with the portal and some NIL stuff happening, you started to see more of it happening, but really it was the player's choice. Like, I'm gonna leave if I want to, I'm gonna stay if I want to.
Yeah.
And now it's so rampant, and because not only do they have NIL, but they also have rev share. So the schools are actually allowed to pay the players now. So the coaches have more say. And so there's a lot of these decisions that are being made about guys entering the portal that are mutual decisions, or the coach tells them, I think that we have a better plan and you can go.
I was not aware that there was revenue sharing in college. Is that the school revenue?
Yeah. I believe. I think it might be conference. It might be conference I'd have to look into what revenue they're measuring.
If they could replace NIL with an NCAA revenue sharing scheme, that would probably be a way to help some of those problems.
Well, and I'd have to dig a little deeper into. It's so new. This is the first year. Next year is the first year they're going to be able to do it. So I'd have to dig into a little bit more. Whether is it like from the conference TV deals or how exactly the revenue sharing works.
Conference would be good also.
Yeah.
Anything that makes it so that there's some incentive for everybody not to go to the biggest, richest school is going to help.
Yeah, agreed. And then the other thing that's interesting now is you have a whole conference full of teams in the Big East that have no football programs. So revenue sharing is across all sports. It's not sport specific. You have a certain amount of money and you can choose how to split it up.
Gotcha.
So the teams, the schools which don't have football teams are going to be spending way more money on their basketball teams. And those are some of the programs that have been lagging behind. So you might see teams like VCU, Marquette, Georgetown, like some of these teams that don't have, they're pretty good basketball schools. They're pretty big schools. They don't have a football program. They might spend all their money in the men's basketball program. So, but for now, I think after we've now wrapped up, did Chase say anything interesting? My eyesight is not good. I can't read that. Can you read that? The bottom cut?
He said, I may or may not have crashed out last Saturday about Duke, and I am not completely over the Final Four. Yeah. Hopefully the no portal means we have some people coming back because nobody has left yet.
I would assume that probably is the case. So when I say Duke has landed no portal guys, Cooper Flagg's going to be gone. They probably have a couple guys that are going to go to the draft, but they're probably going to be ending up getting guys back, which is good for Duke, not good for the rest of the country. But man, that crash and burn last Saturday was fun, wasn't it? Oh, it was so good. I mean, no program in the country does less with more than Duke does. Like, they get all the recruits, they get all the 5-stars, all the McDonald's All-Americans, all the number 1 draft picks, and they haven't been to the title game in like 65 billion years.
65 billion years.
I'd have to go back and check that to verify it's the correct number, but it's somewhere in that range. But anyway, I think that's going to put a wrap on local sports. We have to pick a Spivey Athlete of the week, and we will run through. I was hoping Daniel would be able to join us for that, but he's probably wrist deep in poopy right now. Hopefully the baby's and not his own. But hopefully maybe he'll see the comments and then or see our messages and try to jump on with us. But we're going to name a Spivey Athlete of the week right on the other side of this commercial break. Do you have a legal situation and need someone on your side? Let the law office of Jeffrey A. Damashevitz be your advocate. If you've been the victim of medical malpractice, suffered a personal injury, or need representation with real estate law, small business law, or estate planning, let Jeff Damashevitz put his 29 years of experience to work for you. Call Jeff Damashevitz today at 360-612-3991 or visit damashevitzlaw.com. That's DAMASIEWICZLAW.com. Thank you for watching or listening, however you are consuming this show. Although when I say consuming it, it makes me think that people are like eating it. So watching or listening good, don't eat the show. It's not healthy. It is not good for you. If you're on any kind of diet, if you're on keto, we are not keto friendly. We are not kosher. Do not eat this show. Just watch or listen. But we have a pretty good list of nominees for Athlete of the Week. It's a long list this week, starting with Grace Gooding from Montesano Softball. And Monty Softball had a lot of games, but I think the one that got her nominated
was the 16 strikeouts?
No, that actually was Violet Prince who did that.
Oh.
That was her teammate. Grace Gooding in the second game of that doubleheader, so that was against Elma, went 4 for 4 with a home run, a double, and 5 RBI in one game. Violet Prince absolutely also by picking up that win, allowing 1 run on 1 hit and striking out 16 batters. That absolutely, I think she had a lot of walks in that game, but she's also only a freshman.
Oh, wow.
So that was a big time performance for her. But Grace Gooding was the one who got nominated from Montesano Softball. Then we had Caden Grubb, slightly violating our no grubs rule for just a moment. Caden Grubb he took the mound in the win over Elma on Wednesday. He pitched all 7 innings, allowed 4 hits and 1 walk, and struck out 11 batters. Got the complete game shutout there for Monty Baseball. We had a few different nominations come in for Manny Venegas.
I can't help you.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to say it.
I don't know if you noticed when we were doing the local sports roundup, but I struggle with names already.
Yeah, that's okay.
I did get Smachas, though.
You got Smachas. I remember the first time we had a Willapa Valley Smachas in the roundup, and I said it, and Daniel was like, "Oh, you must know someone with that last name." And I was like, "Yes, I do," because otherwise it looks like Smackyars. But Manny Venegas, the Elma soccer player, this one was really interesting. And we did post a video of his game winner. He had a header off of a corner kick in overtime, which won the game for his team. But the Eagles were down 2-0 against Forks on Thursday, and Manny scored three goals in a row, 2 in regulation to force the game into overtime, and then the header in overtime.
That's normally like a basketball style move to just like guys just settle down. I'm gonna win the game for us.
Yeah, Manny's young too. I want to say he's a freshman or a sophomore. I can't remember for sure, but he's a young guy, really stepping up and making big plays. That Evergreen 1A league, which now includes some of the 2B schools, also is really competitive. It's going to be a super good league this year, as we saw from our next nominee, Edgar Ramirez from Raymond South Bend Soccer, scored a hat trick against Monty. I think both teams maybe were like 7-0. Like, we're pretty deep into league play. It's a huge league, so they're playing a ton of league games, but we're pretty deep into league play. and Monty and RSB were both undefeated, and they played against each other late this week, and Edgar Ramirez led Raymond South Bend Soccer to a 6-0 win over Monty, which is a really big deal, and he scored a hat trick in that game. We also have Lily Camp from Aberdeen Softball, which she is just freaking on this list every gosh darn week because she's so good, and every week she does something great. And she's recently has been the athlete of the week, and now she pitched another no-hitter. It's her second 7-inning no-hitter of the year. She had 2 walks and 12 strikeouts in this 7-0 win over Black Hills. And then, oh, by the way, she also hit a double and drove in a run at the plate in that game as well. And then finally, we have Jalen Sackrider, who is an Elma alum. She is competing in track and field at Evergreen College. Is it college or university?
It's Evergreen State College.
Evergreen State College, thank you. Oh, they could be in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Because they're a state college. Evergreen track, and she, at the Spring Invitational last Saturday, Jalen took first place in the women's discus throw with a distance of 37.36 meters, which is some amount of feet. I don't know why in college they use the metric system. It confuses me. But Jalen, I don't think this is new to her, right? Like, she's her second year in throwing. Okay. But basically they were like, hey, you're a really good athlete. Come do this thing. Like, learn this skill that many people take years and years to master. And then she immediately jumped in and started competing at a very high level. So love seeing updates from Jalen at her Evergreen meets.
Qualified her for the Cascade Collegiate Conference Championships.
Right. Okay. So she qualifies for conference championships with that. And then depending on how she does at conference championships, I'm sure they have national meets as well. So we will definitely be following that closely. Andrew, did you it's tough here because sometimes when it's really close, we use like the number of nominations somebody gets as kind of a tiebreaker. And also like a compelling story can also be an escalator. And as Chase is pointing out in the comment section, it was 2-0 with 20 minutes left in the Elma Forks game. Elma was down when Manny started going nuts and scored 2 goals in regulation, and then the game-winning header in overtime, which there's a lot going for him there. It's a fun storyline.
I feel like I could be wrong because I'm not a massive soccer watcher.
Yeah.
But it does feel like that is like there is a lot of other people on the floor.
Yeah.
Or on the pitch. And
yeah.
that it's, to me, that it being soccer really makes that feel so much even more impressive that you could just turn it on like that and take over, because presumably after the first goal you're attracting attention, and after the second goal to tie it up in overtime, they're probably trying to make sure that you don't win the game. Like,
yes. Oh, Chase is also pointing out that, well, I don't know. Do you bring up games you lost? Chase is also pointing out that when they lost to Raymond South Bend on Tuesday, he scored the only goal in the game for Elma. So he is a goal scorer. So here's the issue, because I kind of have three main front runners here to me, and I'm curious your thoughts on this, because I would go definitely Manny is up there in the finals list for me. I think we kind of fall into the trap sometimes with triathletes, with track athletes, that we make them have to do so much, and we wait until the playoffs, we wait till the postseason before we recognize them.
Right, yeah.
Richie Guadarrama from Elma Track has been just absolutely dominating track all year. And once again, he did maximum winning. He won all 4. You're only allowed to compete in 4 events. He had 2 solo races and he had 2 relays. They won all 4 of them. He helped his team to the first place finish in that meet. And the kid is just an absolute stud. And I don't want to continuously overlook him. But the problem for those two Elma kids in Manny and Richie is that Lily Camp pitched a no-hitter again. So that they're going
again
up
is an escalator.
Is it an escalator or is it a de-escalator? Because it's like, you already pitched the no-hitter. Call me when you do a perfect game.
Well, no, I feel like if they didn't get Athlete of the Week for the previous, once you get Athlete of the Week, the escalator is like reset.
Yeah.
But the more no hitters you throw, the higher up like that escalation gets.
Right. But we did give Lily Athlete of the Week in her last no-hitter because that was the one where she had, I think, 20 strikeouts.
Okay.
And even though
I remember that now, yeah.
Even though Renasia Burtonshaw broke the school record in the 100, we were like, well, Lily might have just pitched the best game in Aberdeen softball history, so it's kind of even in that way.
Yeah, that's true. So it wouldn't be an escalator because she won the last time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm really, like, there's a lot of good ones. Like, Edgar Ramirez, too. Like, you just took control of the league standings by beating the other undefeated team and scoring a hat trick. Like, that's huge. We have a no grubs rule, so Caden's an easy one to scratch off the list. But, to me, there was those three, the two Elma kids and the Aberdeen kid, that really stood out. And I don't know how to weigh it, to be honest. I like the story of Manny in Elma soccer. That's a good one. Richie is becoming insanely dominant, and he's young too. I think he's a sophomore or junior. And then you have Lily Camp, who's like, probably one of the best softball players that we've had in our area, at least, since I've been covering.
At least that's a real person for sure.
Well, because yes, and yeah, Jesse Gilbert's name has been pretty absent from the headlines this year. And I don't know why. I don't know if she's hurt or, is she gone? I was trying to look for, did Jesse Gilbert transfer? I was looking for news on that, and I can't find anything. One of our Acosta people is going to have to let us know what's going on with Jesse. I hope she's not hurt. And if she is, I hope that she can come back quickly and compete for the Wildcats. We are Acosta Wildcat fans. We have T-shirts. Acosta. What championship did they win when we bought the T-shirts? Or was it a state...
Nope, that's not it.
Making it to state playoffs. Acosta Wildcats state softball. Okay, so when they went to the state tournament, we got Acosta shirts. So we are Acosta softball fans, and we hope everything's good with Jesse. But I'm really just filibustering because I don't know what to do.
And I'm not very helpful.
Do you have a direction you're leaning?
I lean towards Manny.
Okay.
Because that... I don't want. I never mind. I won't.
Well, we do have
because
this
we have recognized Lily, and I don't understand track, and therefore I understand track less than I understand soccer, and so it doesn't hit as achievements in track. I have to trust other people. I'm like, wow, that's sounds impressive. Mm-hmm. Soccer, I feel more comfortable being like, wow, that I can say that seems really impressive.
Okay, so let's say just for a moment that of those three, one of them has been Athlete of the Week already. That's Lily Camp. We set her aside. So now we have two Elma kids, and we could just blame Chase because Chase is an Elma guy.
That's true.
And he said that Manny should be Athlete of the Week. So Chase obviously doesn't like Richie Guadarrama. That'll be the title of this episode. Chase doesn't like Richie. But Chase said Manny should be Athlete of the Week. And so I think we go with that. Manny Venegas.
Congratulations.
Okay. So let's make it official. Elma Soccer. Manny Venegas. You led your team back from a 2-0 deficit. Scored 2 second-half goals in the last 20 minutes, and then a header off of a corner kick in overtime to secure the victory on your home field. We have a video of it on our socials if you want to check it out. So congratulations, Manny. You are our Athlete of the Week, our Spivey Athlete of the Week.
Richie just came in to endorse your title.
He likes it?
Yeah.
Chase doesn't like Richie. Okay. I like it. I like Richie. Richie has a cool vibe. I talked to my son. My son ran track last year. He talked to Richie a little bit. He likes Richie. Thinks he has a cool vibe. So I think we've got a lot of good track ahead. Richie's got a lot of good track ahead of himself. He's going to be competing at a really high level. And again, I'm just expecting we're going to see more videos of Richie finishing the 200 with nobody else in the frame. That just seems to be a thing that's been happening this year.
Do they get in trouble for celebrating? Is celebrating a thing in track?
They're usually, their celebrations for the most part are pretty subdued. Like they kind of do a little celebration, but not like they're not doing a touchdown dance.
It's not like end zone dances or anything.
Yeah.
I was just imagining winning the race and then laying down to sleep.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I have seen kids when they finish the 3200 literally crumple into a ball.
That's why I clarified laying down to sleep, with your head on the pillow.
Yeah.
And...
Oh, we started something between Chase and Richie here. We have alleged that Chase doesn't like Richie, and Chase says we are lying. That is, wow. You're lying about us lying, Chase. Chase says he naturally has a bit of a bias to team sports over individual sports. I've been accused of gaslighting. Wow.
Gaslighting isn't a real thing.
It's a word that everyone learned like 5 years ago and everyone overuses. So congratulations, Chase. You're one of the sheep who uses the word gaslighting.
Calling people sheep is perfectly in line with gaslighting as well.
Oh, Elma has a home track meet on Wednesday.
Nice.
Interesting. Okay, well, Richie, you better dominate there. I'm going to assume you will.
Chase... all the joking aside, he was saying he has a bit of a bias of team sports over individual sports, and I kind of agree with that in like my own enjoyment as a watching, but I do think I participated primarily in individual sports.
But you like the relays and swimming
well. Yes, mostly because that was the only way I could get to state. But I think as a fan, yes, but as like recognizing the athletes, it's different. Like you're not more athletic because you play with a team. Or more impressive because you're playing with the team. It is more fun to watch the games, usually, if it's a team.
I can totally feel that, and I think Chase would agree with you. And I think so. What we can do from here on out is if you want to side with Richie, hashtag Team Richie. If you want to side with Chase, hashtag Team Chase. We'll just get a battle going on between those two guys. Let's just see how much trouble we can cause for Chase. Chase has enough trouble in his life. He's a Duke fan, and his team just continuously flames out in horrific fashion. So
you'd think they'd be used to that. Living in the, what do they call it? The Devil Zone? Yeah,
the Devil's Lair, I think.
The Devil's Lair.
Yeah, yep. You'd think so. Well, anyway, congratulations to Manny, our Spivey Athlete of the Week, and I think that's going to conclude our local sports section of the show. On the other side of our next commercial break, we have 2-minute drill and Stump Andrew, which is going to be fun. But real quick before that, we're going to take our second break.
Spivey Realty Group's goal is to make buying, selling, investing, and renting real estate in Grace Harbor simple. They believe in 100% transparency and unparalleled communication with local expertise, tech-enhanced, and top-notch service for their friends, neighbors, and community. Their goal is simple: get a group of strong-willed, hard-working people together who want to make a difference in Grace Harbor and to use real estate as the means of achieving that. Voted Grace Harbor's best real estate company. Find them on Facebook or visit graceharborrealestate.com. Spivey Realty Group, elevating small town real estate.
Thank you for watching the scrimmage or listening to the scrimmage, hopefully not eating the scrimmage. I am Justin Domashevitz, trusty producer Andrew Gross here with me, and Daniel Hargrove is on maternity leave, and we did hear back from him. We have confirmed he is not in prison. He just had a child napping on him, so he wasn't able to get back to us or jump in. But you know what? I think we did okay on Athlete of the Week. Also, a classy move by Richie in the comments saying that Manny deserves Athlete of the Week. He's a dog, which is a thing that young people say now.
Isn't he an eagle?
He's an eagle. Well, I mean, deep down, don't all eagles want to be dogs?
No, Justin.
Anyway, thank you, Richie, for jumping in. And Manny definitely deserves it. I think it was a pretty heroic performance for him to bring his team back. And
absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure if you talk to Manny, he'd say that his other teammates helped him out and that other people helped be responsible. But really, we just know it was Manny. He was just the guy who did everything there. Our show is brought to you by Spivey Realty Group and the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz. And
what's the A stand for?
It's the secret.
Oh.
And you wouldn't understand. We have a couple more.
Andrew? Is it Jeffrey Andrew Domashevitz?
It's not.
Oh.
No. It's another A
Is
thing.
Is it actually a phrase? Jeffrey Domashevitz.
Yes, that is what it is. Yeah. Jeffrey is the direct object of the sentence, so it's Jeffrey, Domashevitz. It's just identifying who he is.
That makes so much sense.
That's a really
we won't
good
tell
point.
Daniel, but we'll tell him that we've revealed it. And yeah.
Oh, Chase is in the comments, and he said I hate him. No, Chase. I don't hate you.
Chase, it's Elma that Justin hates.
I don't hate Elma. I don't hate everyone. I antagonize everyone. It's just part of who I am.
That's true.
Yeah, you can like it or not, but you
ask his wife.
Yeah. She texts me something like that on a pretty regular basis. Why are you antagonizing everyone? Oh, yeah, it's you. That's just the way I do things. That's why we have a segment called Stump Daniel. It's like literally, it wasn't because we could share fun information and trivia with people. It was because I wanted to embarrass Daniel.
Justin was like, what if we had a segment where I just tried to make Daniel feel bad?
Yeah.
And Daniel is such a team player that he's like, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. What a chump. I think actually it did start out that way, and they got kind of mean for a little while, and then I eventually backed off because I started to feel bad. Like I started doing things that were a little more Daniel friendly.
You know what would be a lot of work, but really fun to listen to, is to go back. How many years of Stump Daniels do we have?
Oh, just
five? just play the best responses and questions.
The best is when I can trick him into missing a question that he should know about, like Ken Griffey Jr. or Oregon State football or something like that. Yeah. Because then his dad gets mad at him. You missed a question about Oregon State football? Get me a root beer.
I failed you. Or you failed me, actually.
Yes. Well, I failed you, and now in turn you're failing me is, I think, the point of it.
Earlier when you said Stump Andrew and then went to a commercial break and I was struggling to find the right things to click, I realized that if you really wanted to stump me, you could just play Daniel's game of doing crash commercial breaks and stuff with no warning at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I could have done that.
Stump Andrew is just Justin introducing things with no
warning at all.
Build up.
And then you just go, wah! Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we do have Stump Daniel, or we have Stump Andrew. But before we do that, we're going to go into a very special edition of the 2-minute drill.
Let's go, huddle up. Gotta hurry. Hey, 2-minute situation, 44 seconds, hand the ball to ref. Gonna do it right. 3 jet Buckeye on 1, 3.
The 2-minute drill starts now.
Andrew, your Mariners are starting the season rough and have now lost Victor Robles and Ryan Bliss with long-term injuries. Have you given up yet?
No, Justin. I have exactly the same confidence as I have had this entire preseason that the Mariners are going to win between 87 and 90 games and miss the playoffs. Nothing about this has made me give up hope. Justin, the Denver Nuggets fired their head coach, Michael Malone, and their GM, Calvin Booth, with just a few games left in the regular season and with the Nuggets, the Nugs, in 4th place in the Western Conference. Justin, what the heck is going on in Denver? And could this possibly help the Nugs in the playoffs?
I have no idea how to respond to someone actually reading the 2-minute drill question the way I wrote it. Daniel is just constantly changing the words and answering the question in the middle. He's like, Daniel will be like, the Denver Nuggets fired their head coach, Michael Malone. Who cares? And their GM, Calvin Booth. What? It's a GM. What do I care? And that's how Daniel would have read that. It is a really weird move and kind of unprecedented when you have a team that this guy was the coach when they won the NBA Finals a couple years ago, and now all of a sudden things have gotten so bad that even though they're in position to host an opening playoff series, they're going to let him go. That's kind of weird, and it kind of makes me think that maybe player empowerment has gotten a little too far.
A little too far?
The executives are now saying, well, the players were miserable. Who cares? You're kind of winning a lot of basketball games. Like, at least roll. Like, are they hoping that the guys are going to get fired up by whatever interim coach is coming in and are going to play better? It's a really weird move to do at the end of the season. Drew Lock will return to Seattle this season after signing a deal with the Seahawks on Friday. Andrew, do you see the signing more as an insurance policy for new starting quarterback Sam Darnold, or a signal of the end of the Sam Howell tenure in Seattle?
I think it's probably both of those things.
Yeah.
I also, honestly, I don't really care about this at all from a, oh, this is super interesting, like Drew Lock versus Sam Darnold versus Sam Howell. What I really think is interesting is that they brought Drew Lock back once Pete left. A lot of the stuff that is happening now, when it's different from the way it's been in the past, to me is getting filtered through this. Oh, we're seeing what this looks like when Pete Carroll is not in the equation.
So
and
what
I
John
could be,
Schneider will do when he doesn't
we're
have
seeing
Pete
we're
Carroll.
seeing John Schneider. Yeah. We're seeing what was stuff that John Schneider was going along with, and what was stuff that he was, not, or like. I don't want to imply that I do think they had a great working relationship, but we are definitely. Pete Carroll was the senior partner.
Right, it was
like he hired
yeah.
Schneider.
Well, they had a weird. I think in the dynamic of their work relationship, it was like, I mean, Pete Carroll's the head coach, and then Schneider's the GM, so technically he's in charge of the coach. But then it was written into the contract that Pete Carroll
was the
would have
head
finals.
of football operations.
Yeah, he would have
president
final
of football operations or something
say
like that.
On
yeah.
so Schneider was the GM, and I'm sure had a lot of ability to make some decisions, but ultimately final say would be Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
So
that's, to me, that is the interesting thing here, is that apparently, I mean, Drew Lock was never seriously in the running for starting.
No,
and seemed to kind of lose the backup position. And then apparently we're bringing him back over Daniel's favorite. I am sad not to have Daniel's reaction to this. I like to poke fun at him for liking Sam Howell for no particular reason, but apart from that, I'm just like, I think Daniel was still hoping that Sam Howell would get a chance to compete with Darnold.
Yeah. I think that's the hard part about Sam Howell may end up being one of those quarterbacks that you just don't know what could have ended up happening.
Oh, yeah.
because, I mean, he did get a chance in Washington with a horrible team, and I felt like he was over-criticized for the performance that he had there. I
remember agreeing with that general feeling.
I'm biased because Sam Howell is a Tar Heel and was great in college, really great in
Which
college.
says something because the UNC is a football school.
And I think that Daniel's main argument, which I fully agree with, is like we watched Sam Howell play in preseason and he was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then everyone's judging him based on one half of a garbage game that was garbage before he came in.
Yeah, it was, and there's definitely something to the, like, your offensive line was so outmatched that they let your starter get hurt, and you're gonna judge the backup for not looking good.
Well, and I think if we set mine and Daniel's biases aside, like
impossible.
Drew Lock and Sam Howell, kind of the same player, like in a way. Not saying that all of their attributes are the same, but like Drew Lock, there was a point in Denver where he started in Denver and they loved him after his rookie year.
Yeah,
like they did this thing where,
of course, that's Denver.
Yeah. They did this thing where they had media members do like a mock draft of like, if we redrafted the whole league, and they let media members be the one who picked for their team, and their media members picked Drew Lock in the first round.
That legitimately, that is where I discount it and say, yeah, but that's Denver.
Yeah, that's true. Weed's been legal in Denver for a long time.
Well, we have been exposed to Denver media, if you listen to Seattle morning radio, you've been exposed to Denver media a lot over the past few years because when Russell Wilson went down there, the morning show down there has done several like guest bits and phone in stuff. Mark Schlereth does. I like Mark Schlereth.
Man,
he might be the only sane person in sports media down there.
Oh, and he was
they
a lineman.
Are such homers.
Lots of concussions.
And I think a lot of people get upset with a lot of Seattle sports media for not being homers, other than Softy. All the people that want to listen to a homer listen to Softy, I think. But I just don't trust anything that they say about sport. Like you saying that they picked. I think that they would have picked literally whoever their quarterback was. Like that's just what they do.
Unless it was a guy that they were like actively trying to run out of town.
Yeah. Unless they had decided to hate him.
Yeah. Brock Osweiler towards the end. Yeah. No, but I mean, I guess my thought process on it kind of is, if I set my bias aside, I'm like, okay, you're going to replace Sam Howell with Drew Lock. You're not getting worse. Probably.
I don't know. I have not read about this deal.
I couldn't find details about how many years or how much money.
How possible is it that they're literally just bringing back another quarterback arm that they are familiar with, and they know he's not a bad guy, and that he just like is in the quarterback room as a third quarterback, and like that's also very possible.
It's a fair question. I think it's hard to imagine that he would be inexpensive enough to be that, like, especially considering they didn't pay like top of the market money for Sam Darnold, but they did pay a lot for him. So they don't exactly have a cheap quarterback room.
But I mean, Drew Lock, he was unsigned at this point.
Yeah. But I think he would be considered a high quality backup.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Daniel could.
I'm not sure. Like that was because I saw this news, but I haven't.
Yeah.
Read anything about it or heard a lot about it. My biggest reaction was just like, oh no, I want to know what Daniel thinks about that.
Well, I think the other thing is like, it doesn't, even if they make Drew Lock the backup, I don't think it necessarily means they have to get rid of Sam Howell. Like they can carry three quarterbacks, and he's not expensive.
Especially when say what you will, they're not paying for a top end starting quarterback. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing that Sam Darnold is on roughly the same deal that Geno was on, isn't he? Like,
Well,
it's
they gave him less money than Geno got to go to.
right, but
Raiders.
I meant roughly what they've been paying Geno.
I don't
Like,
even know. I'm not positive about that, but I'm also not sure how to compare it because
everything inflates.
when Geno signed that deal, I think they're paying Sam Darnold more per year.
Okay.
But the quarterback market just continues to get insane.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's probably more helpful to express all of the dollar numbers as a percent of the cap,
yeah.
which nobody ever does. So
It would make sense though. Like I think Drew Lock, for most people probably would feel like Drew Lock is a more stable option for backup, because I think with Sam Howell the argument that we're making is never we think he's great. It's that he might still have upside that you don't know yet, because of how good he was in college and because of how difficult his opportunities have been. But I think Drew Lock probably is a guy that you know a little bit more. We don't need to read that comment. It's fine.
well, I was laughing about how Chase and Francis were arguing about who you disliked more.
Oh, Francis, definitely. No, I like Chase.
Chase was saying that you just hate him, and
No.
Francis was telling him
That's
to get in line.
Speaking of gaslighting, Chase. No, I like Chase. I don't like Francis, but I do like Chase.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would qualify. I think Chase and I would qualify as friends,
Oh.
and Francis is more of my frenemy.
Right.
Yeah,
Possibly an arch frenemy.
right. I think the fact that the Seahawks brought in Sam Darnold, which was, I mean, it was probably their best option. Like, set aside the money for a minute. Like, that was probably the best quarterback they were going to be able to bring in. But
Yeah.
his bust percentage is still pretty high. Like, he had the one really good year, but it ended really poorly in Minnesota when he went up against high quality teams at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like, really flamed out at the end of the year. And, you know, the thing people remember about him most with the Jets is seeing ghosts. So I don't. The possibility.
Wait, was that him, not Danny Dimes?
Yeah, no, that was Sam Darnold. The
Oh.
seeing ghosts guy was Sam Darnold.
Oh wow, I'm impressed he came back from that
Yeah.
at
So-
all. Like,
So the chances that Sam Darnold ends up like just being kind of bad are pretty high, especially considering the fact that Seattle. I understand that they rebuilt the receiving core and they have good running backs, but have they done enough to shore up the offensive line?
Man.
He doesn't have a Justin Jefferson like he did in Minnesota.
there's a significant part of me that and I'm not expecting this. This is not going to happen, and this is how I'm going to feel. Yeah. When the Seahawks do not spend literally every single draft pick on an offensive lineman, I'm going to be like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. And yet I keep seeing
And I'm not even saying it should, because there aren't that many. I know that there aren't that many good offensive linemen. So it isn't even that I'm saying, oh, it's just their offensive line isn't good enough, and I don't even know how they go about addressing that
Yeah.
yet. We'll see if they can address it. Historically, they've not.
Yeah, they have not.
Yeah.
And if they've tried, they wasted mid to late round picks on it, and it generally hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
The hard part about, and I know this is a conversation we've had with Daniel before, the hard part about where they typically end up drafting, like, again, are they like 18? Somewhere in that range? Like the 18 to 25 range is typically where they end up drafting, and the really good linemen they get picked at the top. Like, the really good tackles get picked at the top, in the top 10, top 15. So
Yep. 18, pick 50, pick 52.
yeah. Well, they have a lot of picks in
Pick
the top 100.
82, pick 92.
Yeah, they have a lot of picks. Is it 5 or 6 picks in the top 100?
That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks in the top 100.
So they have some opportunities near the top of this draft. I'll be really curious to see how they spend those 5 picks in particular, and how they can manage to shore up what they're trying to do on offense. Because, yeah, man, they lost some skill position players, and it's going to be tough to replace.
Yeah. I feel uncomfortable speaking with authority about offensive line because I know exactly enough about offensive line play to know that I have no idea how any of it works. It looks like they're just slap fighting, and some of them are really good and win, and other ones don't.
Yeah.
So I want to preface this with that. I feel like they have not had. I suspect that a center is like a catcher in that he is the position that has the most leverage to raise the play of the people around him.
Okay.
And in that I give Cal Raleigh a lot of credit for how good not all the credit, but a lot of credit for how good and consistent the Mariners pitchers are. And in the same way, I think that a really, really good elite center is going to allow you to put parts around him, and they're all going to play better than they would otherwise. And I don't think they've had a center near that since Unger left.
Yeah, I think that's true.
That's my uninformed, that's my uneducated opinion.
Well, and I don't know how to necessarily judge it either, but I do know that like the most freakish offensive linemen usually play left tackle.
Right. And that's
to protect
that's the one that's
quarterback's blind
valuable.
side.
Like that's
Yeah.
the one that gets paid the most and all that.
Right.
But so much of the communication and the setting everybody up for, cuz this is where I'm just not educated. There's
Read a book.
different blocking schemes. Most blocking schemes in the NFL, it doesn't matter if one of the linemen is super awesome and destroys everything in front of him if the other ones let guys step behind him.
Yeah.
And so it's no matter how good your left tackle is, unless your scheme is such that you only as long as the left tackle does his job, nothing wrong will happen, which I don't know how you'd build a scheme like that. It's more important that your whole line is working together.
Agreed. You need them to work as a cohesive unit.
Right.
And
that's I just think
yeah.
that's where the center is.
sometimes
I
you can
think
get
that
away
that's
with
really important.
Sometimes you can get away with having one side of a line that's really good, as long as your other side is serviceable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I totally get what you're saying. I think the Seahawks have a really good tackle in Cross. And so I'm hoping, he's had some injury issues.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he'll be able to stay healthy. That's the other thing about offensive line. You need like 10 of them.
Yeah.
Because they just get hurt all the time.
I know they talk about whenever they're not hurt for like a period of a few months, they talk about how oh, it's great, they've been working together so much, and it seems like that never happens.
Yeah.
Yes,
agreed. Yeah, the offensive line unit that you go into the season with is almost never going to be the offensive line unit that you end the season with. It's just kind of the way it goes.
That's actually kind of another parallel with pitching.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Is the offensive line the pitching rotation of football? I've not thought about this before.
You know what? Maybe.
Nice.
Most of the time when somebody says, you know what, they follow it up with an actual opinion of some kind. But I'm just going to say maybe. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I think that's going to transition us into my favorite part of the show.
Uh-oh.
Serving questions up on a silver platter where the points are made up and the rules don't matter. Time for Stump
Andrew. We're going to stump Andrew today. Stump Andrew is brought to you by the law office of Jeffrey Adamashevitz. I am also
I love it.
Adamashevitz, but no relation. Andrew, I'm going to go just straight into 2025 Seattle Mariners.
Am I allowed to Google?
Stat trivia. No Googling allowed. You know what?
Wait, 2025 Mariners stats?
Yeah.
This is going to be very embarrassing because I think I've listened to all but like one game.
Oh, so you should get these then.
I will not.
Andrew, what I really wanted
By
to
listen to, I mean they were on in my ear.
What I really wanted to do this week, and I'm going to do this when Daniel comes back, was a game from an era of baseball that would not help. You would not be able to do it because
it's like 80s baseball. Or
well,
something.
I would probably go 90s, but
I still wouldn't know anyone who wasn't a Mariner.
I listened to this
yeah.
baseball podcast called Pitch Clock, and sometimes they do like a bunch of different games.
Are they pro or con on the pitch clock?
No, they just call it Pitch Clock because there's a timer on how long you have to answer the questions.
Nice.
But they do this game that's like I give you like the years and the teams that this guy played for, and you have to name the player.
We might get Daniel on here.
Oh, really?
He just asked if he could come on,
Okay.
which feel like he could have like messaged you, but you know.
Maybe he did. I didn't check. Is he? Wait, that's a Haunted Cosmos.
I'm
message.
creating a meeting for him to join.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see if he can come on. Andrew,
This is not me just trying frantically just to distract from people.
well, no, and I think the game I wanted to play, because you can multitask, I know. The game I wanted to play was I give you like, you know how
I think you just injured my wife.
Player. All I want you to do is walk and chew gum at the same time. No, you can't do that. Oh, your wife says no, you can't do that.
I think I just got a terminal tongue injury.
So what I wanted to do was play a game where I give you like, you know, players like move to different teams all the time. If I give you the years and the teams that a guy played for, that you have to name the player. And I think Daniel would think that was really fun. And I think that you would be just really overwhelmed by it. Because you haven't been paying attention to baseball as long as he has.
Here's the thing. I would recognize the names of some of the players.
But I'm not giving you the names.
I know. I'm
You
saying
have to come
that
up with the
here's
names.
the thing.
You would recognize
I
some
would
of the names of
recognize
the
some of
baseball
the
teams.
names. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. And I get it. And I didn't want to do I didn't want it to be unfair.
That's I don't believe you.
So what I thought I would do instead is ask you, hey Andrew, who are the guys who are playing well for the Mariners this season?
Okay.
So question number 1, as we're waiting on Daniel to see if he jumps on. Knowing that Jorge Polanco does not have enough bats to qualify, who is
He doesn't have
leading
enough bats?
at bats to qualify?
Okay.
Who is leading the? I did say bats though.
Oh,
I meant
okay.
at bats. Who is leading?
My brain was immediately jumping to. I think he just got a new one.
The
He was using a torpedo.
Yeah. Which player is leading the Mariners in batting average right now?
And Polanco doesn't
Polanco-
have enough at bats.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't qualify. He's only played 9 games.
How many games have they had?
14?
Oh, that doesn't seems like.
It seems like he should qualify, but he doesn't.
No, 14 is a lot more than 9. It's wild that we're already 2 weeks into the season.
14 is 5 more than 9.
Oh,
I know math.
hold on.
Oh, are we get?
Oh.
Is it from beyond the screen Zoom call? We have maternity leave Daniel. But why is that so hard to say? Maternity leave. Hey, Daniel's here.
Hey.
You're glowing. You're positively glowing right now. The proud father. Congratulations from all of us here at the Scrimmage.
Why, thank you. Yes. Sorry I was not on earlier.
We forgive you.
Lily Camp pitched a no-hitter, and we did not give her Athlete of the Week.
She threw a no-hitter?
Yeah, you could have been there and stopped that from happening, but you didn't, so.
Oh, okay. Who won?
Manny Venegas from Elma.
He scored 2 goals in the last 20 minutes of the soccer game and then scored the winning goal in overtime with a header.
It's a cool story.
Was it the Monty Escalator?
No, they were going against Forks.
Nah, suck it,
Sporks.
The Fartons.
So did you get to ask Andrew the trivia? I just wanted to hop in and react.
I wanted to know. Maybe you'll know the answer to this, Daniel.
Daniel, you are my distraction from having to answer the questions.
Knowing that Jorge Polanco does not have enough at-bats to qualify, which player currently leads the Mariners in batting average?
Oh, gross. Let's see. Polanco doesn't have enough at bats.
Apparently, he's only played 9 games.
Yeah.
And apparently, we've already played 14.
6 and 8.
So I know that Mastroboni has a decent batting average, but I don't think he's played even as much as Polanco has. So this could be some really ugly numbers.
I bet it's under 200.
There's a good shot. It is, man. Like it might be Julio at like 190 something.
Julio's batting 170.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought that. Oh yeah, he didn't have any hits last night. It was Cal that had the homer last night.
Yeah. It's a bit of a trick question because the answer is actually the recently injured Victor Robles.
Oh, I wasn't gonna guess that.
He does have enough at bats to qualify, and he was batting 273 before he destroyed his body.
Injury hurts.
Yes, agreed.
My comments earlier about not losing hope for a 88 win, missing the playoff season, which is what I've had hope for the whole time. Notwithstanding, him getting injured really, really sucks, especially on a absolutely sick, balls to the wall, all out play immediately before they lose with a whimper. Like that whole situation was just awful.
Okay, I have one more question for you guys.
Yeah.
Which player currently leads the Mariners in hits and RSBI and is tied for the team lead in home runs?
Hits, RSBI, and tied for the team lead in home runs.
Yep.
Is Polanco eligible for this one?
This one's not an average, so it doesn't. It's just
Okay.
about straight numbers, so there's no
Okay.
qualifiers.
Okay. Well, it's one of Polanco's got to be in the running, as well as Rosarena and Raleigh.
Those are the 3 I was also thinking of. I was gonna pick Cal to guess because if I have to pick, I'm gonna pick him. You know.
Okay. Then I'd go Polanco, knowing that you'll guess Cal.
Andrew, terrible guess. Cal Raleigh does have 3 home runs, but he only has 5 RBIs. The answer actually is Jorge Polanco, who I mentioned didn't even have enough at-bats to qualify for batting average, has only appeared in 9 games, but has 3 home runs, 11 RSBI, and 13 hits in those games.
Are they platooning him against
He's
certain
hitting
arms?
400, so. What's that?
Are they plateau? Are they? Is he only hitting against one-sided pitching?
Now he is, because whatever injury he has, apparently he's not available to swing right-handed. So
Oh,
he's only hitting against right-handed pitchers.
okay.
He's only hitting left-handed. Yeah.
He's normally a switch hitter?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Well, that will conclude this edition of Stump Andrew
Thoroughly
/
stumped.
Daniel,
Thoroughly stumped.
which is brought to you by the law office of Jeffrey Adamashevitz. And
I
I'm now reading my title, and I'm offended.
which one did we go with here?
Daniel Hargrove, H-Out Hoquiam guy, father of 3 future Montesano sports stars. Okay, Daniel. Well, now that you noticed it, I've got a different one for you. There you go. Currently on paternity leave at an undisclosed location.
I was gonna.
And moving now so that I will stay undisclosed.
I've been calling it maternity leave. Does that offend you?
Yes, I heard you say that earlier. And I decided that you probably just paternity leave wasn't in your vocabulary, so I just assumed that you didn't know it was a thing.
No, I know what it is.
Justin just firmly believes that taking time off for the birth of a child is for 9-year-old girls and women.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Celebrate your birthday? I mean, come on. What amount of children do you have with you?
I have 2 amounts. I have 2/3 of my children.
Oh wow. Okay, so you lost one already. Gosh darn it, Daniel. We let you go for a couple of weeks and you lose a child. Which one did you lose?
The little one's hard to keep track of.
The littlest one can't really move that much on his own. Well, at least you know he couldn't have gotten far.
Wait, hold up. Is Anchor the littlest one?
What?
No.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Oh, if it was Anchor.
I heard that Beacon was a chonk.
He is. Beacon definitely broke the record for birth weight and birth length. Utterly dominated. Almost a full pound heavier than Anchor, and 2.5 inches longer than Veda was. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Dude, if you
7
lost track of
pounds, 7
Anchor,
ounces.
he would be the hardest one to find. That kid is nimble and adventurous, and if you left him alone for 5 minutes and came back, he'd be in a tree. Like, he would be... I would not want to have to try to find that kid if he didn't want to be found. I'll say that.
Anchor, would you climb a tree? Yeah, he says yes, he would climb a tree.
Prove it. Okay.
Yes. He says that he wants to go climb the rhododendrons right now. That's actually where we're headed.
Right on.
At another undisclosed location?
An undisclosed location in the suburbs of Montesano.
Daniel, I just want you to know that initially when Andrew put that you were at an undisclosed location, it had the actual neighborhood that you live in, but then he scratched it off with like the edit feature on the computer. I was saying he should put redacted over that. Like,
yes,
we want to make sure nobody knows where Daniel lives. Because obviously there'd be a lot of people who would want to attack you.
You know what? I was wondering which route you were going to go with, attack or like paparazzi. So I'm glad you went with attack. I feel more comfortable with that.
No, the paparazzi would all be there to take pictures of my sister. The movie star.
Well, the paparazzi as it existed when we were youths doesn't really exist anymore. Now, the paparazzi is just like a group of awful reporters that the deep state will sick on people when they want to drive them nuts. It's a part of the MK Ultra thing. Is
that different than when we were kids?
Yeah, no, because they used to actually be like, hey, we can get pictures and report things before everyone else does. Let's go be nuisances. But now information travels so fast and everybody has a phone that can record everything. So you can't, like, the job
TMZ
of a paparazzi
still breaks it.
TMZ breaks inside. Hi, Veda.
Hey.
Hi.
I can play with Spicy.
She says she has a purple car seat.
That
Nice.
is awesome.
That's
I wish I
awful,
had that.
actually. I am shocked and depressed that
Go
your
Huskies.
father allows purple in his car.
What'd you say, Uncle Andrew? You hate her purple car seat? That's awful. I love it. It's my new favorite thing. Go
well, you know
Huskies.
what? It's not green.
Your shirt is. You are literally wearing a green shirt right now.
I'm just saying that Daniel wouldn't allow green in his car.
Oh, yeah. That's probably true.
Yes. All right. Well, again, sorry for coming on late. Our body clocks are like in Australia right now.
Hey.
But actually, they're like bouncing from Australia to Africa. So, yeah.
I want to be clear that I acknowledge that I am not in the same boat as you, but in this particular respect, we are in the same boat. I've been working nights for 2 weeks. I just woke up.
I forgot about that.
I've been sleeping normally.
Nice.
Oh, that is a cool undisclosed location
In the outskirts of
in the Montesano suburbs.
Well, Veda got out of the car and immediately grabbed the basketball,
Dope.
which is kind of her MO right now.
Go get some buckets.
Yep.
Tell her that she needs to learn how to handle the ball really well.
She's got to be.
Is that a shot at her height?
If she doesn't play like Katie Whitten, she's gonna have issues. Old school reference there.
I'm just going to say that with you as her dad, I expect her to lead every team she ever plays on in hustle stats.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
agreed. Okay, bye, Daniel. Enjoy your maternity leave.
Just a second. You were
Oh.
saying that if you lost track of Anchor, he was probably running on a tree.
Did you lose track of him?
Oh, he's in a tree.
Oh.
Hi.
That's awesome. Good job, Anchor. That kid is a climber, man. He doesn't care if it's a tree or stairs or chairs in the sanctuary at church.
Yeah,
That
he
kid's
said, "Hi guys, I'm in a very high tree. I'm very high up."
All right. Well, we'll let you
Love
go.
you
Enjoy your children.
All right, see ya.
At least 2/3 of them. Bye.
How do I?
Live
I don't know how to hang up.
without you.
There are so many windows on my
Whoa,
screen
it's
right
like I'm looking at like 5 of me right
now.
now.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's cool.
Yeah. Can you just
There
leave
we
it
go.
there? Oh,
Nah.
it's gone. Okay. All right. Well, I think actually that might do it for our show today, and I'm not quite sure why.
You know what? I just want to say every time as a little kid, I did a lot of climbing.
Yeah.
And every time I see like Anchor or my other nephews up in those little trees on like they don't have to worry about whether the branch is gonna break.
Mm-hmm.
They weigh nothing.
You're jealous.
I'm so jealous.
I grew up.
When I can still climb, but I have to be so careful.
Yeah. I just listened to myself say I grew up and realized that that's a false premise for the statement. When I was a child, an actual child by age, my mother did not like to let me do things that were dangerous. So I could only climb trees when my mom wasn't around.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
The exact opposite of my growing up
Really?
experience. Yes.
Whenever my
If
mom
my
was
mom
around,
wasn't
she
ar-
let you climb trees?
Yeah. I don't know what she just hated me.
She wanted you to fall.
No.
My mom was watching little Andrew climb trees going, please fall, please fall.
No. It was that my mom was a nurse before she was married. She was a nurse at like the Harborview
medical center
up in Seattle. She'd seen all of the trauma and stuff, and she was very comfortable with allowing me to do things that, looking back on, are wild. Climbing way high up trees, stuff like that. But I, as a little kid, I didn't realize that was unique, and I would try to do it when like babysitters are over, and they would get actually freaked out. So I wasn't, as a small child, I was not allowed to do dangerous things unless my mom was there.
So let me make sure that I've got this straight. Your mother worked in a hospital in which she witnessed all kinds of trauma.
Yep.
And that made her more comfortable
Yeah.
that you might be involved in that kind of trauma.
No, I think it made her more comfortable in that she knew that I could fall and still wouldn't get involved in that level of trauma.
Or is it possible that your mother didn't like you?
I will say she still strongly dislikes the idea of riding on a motorcycle.
Okay.
And that is influenced by the same experiences. So I think it's more that she saw how bad you could get hurt, and she was like, you know what? Nah, this won't be that bad. The worst case scenario here is spending way too much time in the ER. She also always told me not to get hurt because she didn't have time to go to the emergency room. And I thought that was a joke well through my teens until I thought that was a joke until I was an adult going to college and went to the emergency room because on a flag football team that Daniel and I were on, two of our pass rushers missed the quarterback and collided face to face. There's a video of this on YouTube, and you can hear the hollow conk sound as their faces hit each other. And they both went to the hospital, or to the emergency room, and Daniel and I went with them because we organized the team and they were our friends. And it took all night. It was late in the morning when we finally got back.
Oh boy.
And then I was like, if you haven't been to the emergency room, you don't realize you literally do not have time to go to the emergency room.
Yeah, because it takes forever.
It takes forever.
Yeah, good point. Have you ever fallen out of a tree?
Yes, I have definitely fallen out of it.
Did you ever actually injure yourself falling out of a tree?
Not seriously.
So okay, you answered that in a way that makes me think you've fallen out of a tree so many times that you can't even name the amount of times you've...
Yes.
So we're in double digits.
There was one specific incident as a child where I fell out of a high tree, head first, and grabbed a branch on the way down, and it broke, and so I ended up hitting the ground harder than is comfortable or safe, but feet first instead of head first. And when you say that, I was probably 10. When you say, have you ever fallen out of a tree, that's what flashes into my head. That was super scary and definitely the worst fall out of a tree I ever had.
I'm going to go ahead and just say it. Your mom was irresponsible. She was an irresponsible parent.
I think maybe she was just a Gen X parent.
Okay. Yeah. One time when I was around that same age, I was in the backyard and I was trying to swing from the branches of a plumeria tree. Word to the wise.
Is that a fancy Hawaiian kind of tree?
It's the flower,
okay.
the flowers that you see a lot of leis made out of.
Oh, okay.
Grow on trees. They're not particularly large trees, nor do they have strong branches.
Okay.
So it broke and I fell. And I wasn't injured in any kind of significant way, but I was emotionally injured.
Oh.
And very upset, and so I had to be consoled.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably I was probably kind of wimpy because my mom didn't let me climb enough trees.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've unpacked enough of our childhood trauma, you having an irresponsible mother, me being emotionally wounded by a tree. We can just go ahead and wrap up the show. What do you think? Please don't tell your mom I said she was irresponsible.
Francis is already making fun of Daniel's child names.
Well, because you said he was chunky.
Beacon, more like bacon.
Yeah, because you said he was chunky.
My wife told me that he was chonky, and I realized that we may need to start preparing to support Anchor through the incredibly traumatic experience of being an older sibling with a far larger younger sibling.
Here's the thing. Well, Daniel's children are tiny. Like,
His first two children
his
are
first
tiny.
two children.
The second one is already a
Okay,
chonk.
But Bacon wasn't that big when he was born. Peyton was 9 pounds. I get
How
it.
tall is Peyton?
5'10".
Okay, so he's not. That fits with what I was thinking. He's very solidly built.
He was also a week late. So had a little more time to bake in the oven, you know. He was a little more well done. I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't stop. We gotta end the show.
Okay, wrap it up. Wrap it up, Justin.
Well, thank you for listening to the scrimmage. We had a lot of fun today. I am Justin Damashevitz. Absentee co-host Daniel Hargrove did join us briefly, but he is no longer with us today because he's on maternity leave.
At
and
an
also
undisclosed location.
At an undisclosed location.
In the outskirts of Montesano.
Suburbs of Montesano. And also trusty producer Andrew Gross is here. No thanks to his mother. Thank you for listening to the... Please don't tell her I said any of that. I feel so bad. I don't like it. I take it all back. Show over. End of show.
I think my mom is why you gave up your mom jokes.
Oh, she totally is. She's just such a lovely person. She's just one of the best people I know.
Oh. Thank you for listening to the scrimmage.
Oh, I'm a bad person.